Welcome back to Better Radio Websites, the podcast that wants to help you get more visitors and the most revenue from your radio station website. This week, we're talking about how AI can help you take the content that you're doing on air and repurpose it for your website. Hey, thanks for tuning in this week. It's Jim. And, one of the biggest frustrations radio stations face is providing their audience with fresh content for their website. I mean, I get it. Whenever you wear all of these multiple hats just to do great radio, focusing on the website can be overlooked just due to the time required. I mean, most people just get stuck coming up with something to post online that's interesting and that would be engaging to their audience. So they just kind of give up and then they get frustrated and they never really come back to it. But what if you could take the engaging content that you create every day for on air and then easily and quickly repurpose it for your online audience? And that's what we're talking about this week. And, after you do this for a while, you're going to start getting into a rhythm and you'll start pre-purposing everything you do. Pre-purposing. That means you're going to think about it in a different way and with the intent of repurposing it for online later. We're in the middle of adding new functionality to our AI Content Helper Pro extension. If you haven't, check it out at skyrocketradio.com. But in the process of this, I'm thinking to myself, how can AI in general just be used to help someone produce more online content more quickly? And if you haven't jumped on the AI bandwagon yet, you will at some point because it's here to stay. It's not a fad. It's not going away. And we've done other podcasts about how AI can help you at your radio station. And we're not talking about anybody losing their job over AI. I heard this quote one time: AI is not going to replace people. People with AI will replace the people who don't have AI. It was a pretty big statement at the time. That was last year. I just wish we had these AI tools back in the day whenever I was tasked of producing a daily blog post for our Clear Channel website here in Jackson, Mississippi. It was a pain. Nobody liked it. Nobody had the time to come up with ideas to post about online. But if we just had AI to kind of give us that little, take away that first step of coming up with something interesting, then that could have made all of the difference in the world. Now, you can use on all kinds of AI platforms to help you to make things a whole lot easier and convert things that you do on air to online content. So we're not going to mention any specific tool that you can use for that, but just as we kind of go through the list of some of these things that you can do, just realize that some of them may be, uploading a piece of audio that can be transcribed, and then that transcription can be used to, post something online, like maybe create a month worth of social media posts or anything like that. So let's go through this list. I come up with these ways that you can use AI to help your radio station do a whole lot more with the content that you're already producing, but you're just going to do it for the folks that are online. So, and whenever you think that way, it's for the people who may have missed your live broadcast, who didn't catch the news this morning or anything like that. And it's maybe things that you've talked about on air, but whenever they're converted to an online piece of content, they can live online forever. And so you take an interview that you did with somebody who's doing something that they're in the town and then turn that into an online article. That article can live much longer than your interview this morning did. All right. So number one is to expand short segments into in-depth articles. Search engines, they love the long form content. Yes, it's okay to make a news story or an article that's just 100 words or something like that, but they give higher scores to those that are 500 words and a whole lot more because they think, okay, they went more in depth. This is more relevant piece of content and it's just going to engage people a whole lot longer. So you can use AI to make short segments into longer articles. All right, so some examples could be like newscasts. You take a 30-second news update that you did this morning and you can expand on it, getting more detailed into all of the specifics about where it was and more added context, background, and maybe even some quotes that you couldn't include in your 30-second newscast. Weather reports. You could turn a simple weather forecast into a weekend weather guide featuring suggestions for outdoor activities or events tailored around the great weather or maybe the bad weather that's coming in this weekend. Traffic reports. You can create weekly traffic tips like articles that are summarizing common congestion points and maybe alternate routes. And hey, since you have to go by this place to get around this bad traffic area or whatever like that, maybe you want to check out this. So there's all kinds of things that AI can help you with as far as creating content like that and expanding on the content, again, that you're already doing at your radio station. Now, yeah, there's maybe some of these things that you don't do at your radio station, but maybe you could, and then you turn it into more content for your website. Number 2 is to generate event roundups and guides like local event spotlights, feature event details, and you could turn that into AI and then have to craft detailed blog posts about upcoming events, festivals, fairs, concerts, and even charity runs. Holiday content. You can use AI to write holiday-specific posts like the top Thanksgiving events in your city or the best spots to watch the 4th of July fireworks displays. I mean, think about things that are happening in your local area that AI probably scraped from somewhere back in the day, a long time ago, and then they could turn that into something that you could put on your website and make it be evergreen, something that lives on your website forever. Number 3 is to extend interview content, like interview summaries. You can take an interview that you did with the mayor and then plug that into an AI transcription, take that transcription, turn it into a blog post summarizing all of the key takeaways. You could pull quotes, use AI to extract the most compelling quotes from your social media posts, create an FAQ, turn interviews into Q&A format for your online audiences. So, I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do to take the things that you're doing on air and then just convert it to online use for your website. Number 4 is to build evergreen content from your music programming, like behind the scenes stories. Gosh, I wish I had this back in the day when I was doing all of these blog posts, because you can use AI to write a story about the history of a specific song or an artist or a genre featured on your station. This week in post, you can have an AI look back in time and provide you with an article based on the music history of a given week or a given day. And then every single day or every single week, you can run this and have fresh content on your website. Countdown playlist. Create a blog post or social media post summarizing the countdowns, like the top 10 hits of the week or a Throwback Thursday classics. You could go back and say, what was the top 10 hits of this week? And then give me a summarization of all of those songs and maybe tie it into what was happening in the world right around that time. So that would be interesting content for your website. Music trivia posts. You could turn facts into on-air engaging trivia posts like quizzes and stuff like that you could post on your website. So you could take maybe that song of the day or song of the week or whatever, and then turn it into a quiz for the website that is going to be engaging and keep people coming back time after time. Number 5 is to repurpose contest and giveaway content like contest recaps. You can use AI to write blog posts detailing the winners and prizes and highlights from recent contests that you've had on your station. Promotional content. Generate engaging promotional text for upcoming contests, including detailed how to enter guides if you want to do that. Number 6 is to enhance local business spotlights. Advertiser content. If you have advertisers coming into the station to talk about their business, or maybe you have a client of the month or client of the week or something like that, AI can go out, pull their website, and then tell you all about their business. Or you can take the interview that you did with them, summarize it, and then write a featured article about them for your website. So there's all kinds of things that this opens up so many avenues for just content for your website. So if you're sitting around thinking, gosh, I don't know anything to post on the website, what would I post? Here you go. How about dining guides? Like use on-air discussions about local restaurants to craft a best eats in town guide. If you do a best of, we've talked about doing best of promotions where the listeners vote on the best everything in town, like restaurants and place to get gas and everything like that. Turn all of that into guides about your area using AI. Number 7 is to turn listener engagement into content, like your social media comments. Ask AI to analyze your listener comments and then create a blog post about trending topics that they're talking about. Do it for poll results. Convert poll responses into engaging posts, like what your city thinks about any certain topic. Like if you've done a poll recently on your station website, you could take the responses of that, feed that into an AI, and then say, here, tell me what our listeners think about this based on these results. How about listener stories? You can turn user-submitted stories into blog features. Let's say you had an exciting phone conversation on the morning show. You could take that entire conversation, feed it into AI, and then have AI write a blog article about that for the morning show blog.
Looking to maximize your radio station's digital presence? Skyrocket Radio delivers custom websites and mobile apps built exclusively for radio stations by radio professionals. Our websites engage listeners and drive revenue, while the integrated apps keep your audience connected wherever they are. It's a complete digital solution designed to boost your station's reach and ad sales. To take your station's online experience to the next level, visit skyrocketradio.com.
Number 8 is to generate social media content. You can use AI to summarize on-air segments into bite-sized social media posts and threads. Hashtag suggestions, generate trending hashtags for events, promotions, and that sort of thing. And then number 9 is to create podcast show notes and transcripts. Detailed notes summarizing all of your podcast episodes. You can turn that into professional show notes for the website. Keyword optimization. You can generate SEO-friendly summaries to boost podcast deliverability, and even full transcripts. Provide searchable transcripts for your listeners. Take that audio, plug it into AI, and then have AI spit back the entire transcript for you. That's not something that you have to type in or listen. And gosh, can you imagine back in the day how we used to do all of that stuff, but now it can be done with just a few clicks. Number 10 is to turn content into visuals like infographics. You can use AI to summarize complex topics and then convert those into charts, like the top 5 weekend events or how to enter a contest. AI-generated images, of course, we've talked about that many, many times. Post blog posts with custom AI-generated visuals to enhance engagement. Number 11 is to create FAQ pages, programming FAQs, like where you can turn listener questions into FAQ sections for your website, or even event FAQs. Use AI to generate detailed everything you need to know about the state fair or any other big event that's in your area. Number 12 is to automate daily content creation like horoscopes. Generate daily horoscopes for your website or social media. This is not something that you have to copy and paste from somewhere else anymore because the AI can just do it for you. Or like the word of the day. Use AI to create a daily word of the day or trivia post, or it could be daily affirmations. Provide daily inspirational quotes or affirmations that are on your website. It's not something that you have to sit down and create and, oh my gosh, what is the word of the day going to be today? It can just spit it out for you and then tell you all about it. Number 13 is to enrich your sports coverage like game recaps. You could plug an entire game audio into a transcription service and then use that transcription to give brief sports updates, full recaps with player stats and highlights and everything that happened during the game, and player spotlights. You could turn a player interview into featured articles just by feeding in the audio and spitting back out the transcription, and then have AI go in there and then summarize the whole thing. So this is not something that, you have to be a sports writer in order to do. You can just plug it in, hit a few keys, and you're done. And then lastly on our list today is to translate content into multiple languages. If you live in an area where you have multilingual folks that are listening to your radio stations, they're probably going to be hitting up your website at some point. And it would show that you really, really care about them a lot if you would have content on your website that is multilingual. And you can use AI to translate any kind of on-air content that you have into multiple languages. This is going to allow you to reach a broader audience. So AI tools like ChatGPT and even our new AI Content Helper Pro, they can be game changers for your radio station website, allowing you to do a whole lot more in a very, very short amount of time with the content that you've already created. You're taking that existing content and you're making it work harder for you. And as I said at the beginning of this, after a while, you will start pre-purposing everything that you do with the intent of making it for online use later. And by using all of these tools creatively, you can grow your audience, strengthen your local presence, and offer more value to your advertisers and the people that come to your website each and every day. Now, you may want to start small. Now, pick one or two of these from this list and then experiment with it. The results might surprise you. Please let us know in the comments which of these work for you. I would be very, very excited to see which ones are working out there. And if you need help with your radio station website, hey, we'd love to help you out with that. You can reach out to us at skyrocketradio.com. Have an awesome week online making your radio station website better. We'll see you next time.